Hey there, Capone. We know you got the speakeasies down on Lower Wacker Boulevard, so we're going to be coming for your booze. You better start running. That's the Chicago way. That's right, 1930s to 1940s there on Barber Dave's Barber Shop at Home. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Before we get started, as always, www.theshavingcadre.com. Come and visit us. We'd certainly appreciate it. And then right up here, Drinks and Dave's on YouTube. Our next episode will be tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific. And we really hope you enjoy the show. So if you do, we'd certainly appreciate it. Okay, here we are. And I'm going to get it right. It is part 5. Which is 1930 to 1940.
Now, are you sure you're in the right decade?
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, see, that's my new producer after the one we shot yesterday. Yeah, I got it right. Jeez. See what I have to deal with on a regular basis? But yes, I do apologize. Yesterday was a complete train wreck because I went from 1910 to 1920, and then while I was in 1920, I went to 1930. So anyhow, this is 1930 to 1940. It is correct. Okay. So what are we using today? Well, probably one of my favorite razors, and we're going to be jumping around the decade a little bit because it's kind of funny because the 1930s, Prohibition was ending. Al Capone got caught. People were able to drink and enjoy stuff again, but guess what? The Depression was setting in, so nobody had any money. So it was a rough time for people, and there were some towards the end of the decade, there were some really nice razors and stuff like that. So everything today is period correct. They may not necessarily be from that time, but they're all items that were available, and most of the items are from that time, except for the soap, and that's about it. And the aftershave, maybe, although the aftershave was available. And then as we were getting towards the end of the decade, and the reason why I say that is because the razor I'm using is towards the end of the decade, there was a prelude to war. World War II was getting ready. Things were rumbling over in Germany and Austria and Europe. And so the 1940s were going to be interesting too. We'll do that one tomorrow. So, okay, what are we using for today? Our razor for today is a British Aristocrat number 15. Now, this is the one that has the Gillette diamond. This is a British-made razor, and it dates to about 1938, maybe even a little bit earlier. I do not have any of the original Gillette blue blades or the Gillette blades that came with the razor. However, I am using a King Gillette blade just to keep it all Gillette. For the brush is period specific. This is a Badger brush, believe it or not. Yes, it's anthrax free now, and a beautiful silver, and this is actually silver. And this was being relegated to my talc duty, if you understand, but it's too soft, but we're going to use it anyways. So for the soap, another thing that was available that was very easy from the Colgate Palmolive company was a Palmolive shave stick. Very easy to use, just wonderful stuff. And then, of course, Skin Bracer was available. It and Aqua Velva were going to be duking it out for the next years to come, even to this day. So let's get started. Yeah, yesterday was, well, I claim it as a senior moment. Shave sticks were marketed to be just so much easier than anything, whether it be creams or the shaving soap of the day. Basically, you just rubbed it on your face, and if it was really wet, it would get gloopy like that. And then you would just take your brush and brush it on. Now, the Palmolive shave sticks were it's a wonderful scent. It really is. It just takes a while to build. Now, the original Badger knots, as this one is, were not, believe it or not, boar brushes were actually more comfortable. These can be kind of prickly, because I think at the time they they really didn't know what part of the badger to use, so, and I'm not going to ask. So I guess we could say this could be a badger butt. Oh, and also, we didn't have color TV till 1951, and that was a CBS broadcast, but really most people didn't have color TV until the 60s. But so we got to go back to black and white, and the snap didn't work. Only 2 more in black and white, guys, and then we'll be in full living color. So as you can see, the soap is wonderful. I mean, it really is. You know, for a little bit of a shave stick, and it's easy to travel with. And most military folks, both in World War I and World War II, were given shave sticks in their DOP kits or their shaving kits. And we're going to be showing you. They were marketed as both a shave camping kit, and they were also given to both ground troops and field air troops during World War II. And that one is date specific. The British Aristocrat, it is a rhodium finish. Just a wonderful heavy razor. The 15 Aristocrats, at least when I got mine, were in huge demand. Nice open comb, very aggressive. And like I said, this has got a Gillette blade, brand new King Gillette blade in it. So I don't know how, I don't use these that often. In fact, hardly ever. I usually stick to the Personas, but this is pretty smooth. And after yesterday's shave, I'm looking forward to having a nice DSBBS shave. So like I said, these are definitely specific to the time period. We're getting to the point, you know, when we start getting into the 60s and 70s, where there's tons of shaving stuff available. Very iconic brands that we will play around with. But also in the late 60s, you know, those folks that were still shaving, you know, doing traditional shaving, but electrics really started to take over in the 50s and 60s. Now, my father-in-law had been shaving with an electric. That's why I ended up with that NOS 1964 or 1962 Fat Boy, or I can't remember, somewhere in the 60s. But it was, I mean, unopened. I mean, in the plastic. And I shave with that quite often. I don't know if it's going to make it into this shave of the decades, because I've got so many other things that fit that. First pass was good. Aggressive, though. The 15 was an aggressive razor. It really was. But just a wonderful razor. In fact, it was such an iconic razor that over on some of the other forums, people would actually use this as a travel razor, and they would actually, kind of similar to what we're doing with the TSC coin, they would take it on vacation. And they would shoot pictures, and I'm guilty of it, I did it too. They would shoot pictures of their Aristocrat 15 at various national parks or wherever they may be on vacation, sitting at the beach. I mean, we even made little party hats for them. Yeah, it's a very iconic razor. But as I think may have just happened, with the open combs, if you're not careful and you're not paying attention, you can slice yourself. And I'm not sure if I just did on my lip. No, it doesn't feel it yet. Good shave so far, much better than yesterday's shave. But the reason why this brush has been given to talc duty is just, it is floppy, but prickly at the same time. So as long as you're doing paintbrush strokes, you're fine. But if you try to do any scrubby strokes, this thing's like shaving with a softened Saguaro, I guess. But it's a beautiful old vintage brush that fits the time period. This has actually been fun because I've been able to bring out some stuff that I haven't used in a long time. This King Gillette blade is actually very, very smooth. I don't know who makes them now. Somebody may put in the comments who makes the King Gillette blades. And these were purchased when the King Gillette DE razor came out a couple years ago, I think. I think it was Gillette's attempt to placate those of us that have been anti-Gillette people as far as what they've done to the world of shaving. Now, somebody did ask me if I was going to shave with a Track 2 or a Gillette multi-blade cart razor, and the answer to that is a big, fat, resounding no. It may be time specific and it may be era specific, but there's plenty of other stuff that was also there. Okay, so far, let's see if we need any cleanup. Yeah, I think I caught myself a couple of places. Because like I said, those open combs are they're very interesting because they're a little wider gapped. The razor is a little bit wider gapped. And so if you turn the razor, sometimes it'll get you. And that's what usually happens to me around the chin. And I try not to do J hooks or buffing with this one because it's kind of the same thing as the gem. It'll reach out and say hello. So let's see how we did overall. Oh, very nice. Yes, I would call this one definitely BBS, bordering on DS BBS, because I got a little crazy. Yeah, I always have a tendency to be heavy-handed with this razor. I don't know why, because I know better. So I do end up getting a pretty good alum slap with it. It's not bad, but not the greatest either. Get cleaned up real quick. Yeah, and this brush will go back to talc duty, I think. Holds on to a lot of water, but, you know, still for an early Badger brush, still not a bad one. Ah, beautiful shave. And I'm really, because I think other than using those King Gillette blades in the actual King Gillette razor, which I've only used once or twice. I've never used them before. Not a bad, not a bad razor blade, actually. Like I said, I do prefer the Personas, but other than that, pretty good. Now we're going to forego any EDT today in talc because I've got to dry that talc brush out. I mean, I've got another brush I can use, but I'm not going to. For our witch hazel, again, period specific. It was around. This bottle's not period specific, but Thayer's lemon. We'll let that dry down for a bit. And then, of course, and unfortunately, this is not time specific. The brand is time specific, but the bottle is long since. I do not have a glass skin bracer bottle. I would love to have one to go with my 2 Aqua Velva bottles, but I do not have one. So it's plastic, skin bracer. And it's a wonderful aftershave. I had not used it in ages. And one of my viewers here, Charles Priest, had mentioned wanting to see skin bracer on a previous video that I did. And I bought some. I didn't even it was still around, but it's wonderful. Very cooling, very soothing, good stuff. So if you like retro barbershop type stuff, Skin Bracer is definitely the one. Okay, that's it, folks, for the shave today. And that fits kind of the 1930s, 1940s vibe. You know, a lot of people were using talc and all that other stuff. So, plus, we got the decade right. Isn't that awesome? So anyhow, I hope everybody has a wonderful Monday. Don't forget, tomorrow is going to be 1940 to 1950. Going to be very much centered around World War II. And then next week, we start heading into the modern world. And yes, you will have color pictures. So anyhow, I'm Barber Dave. This is Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And take care, and we'll talk to you soon. And don't forget to comment. We would like to hear what you say. Thanks. Take care.